welcome to the daily tune-in on the road. There has to be some clever name for it, but until that happens, I wanted to bring you into my moment. It is a Storehouse moment. It usually is if I'm at the beach, but this is one of the local beaches here in Saranda, and it is one of our favorites because I don't know why, y'all, but there is never anyone here. It's always just Bud and I. And I love that, and at the same time it confuses me because I don't understand why there aren't more people here. But I wanted to, as I was sitting here, but we were walking down, and Bud was asking me about, I'm gonna go sit down actually. He was asking me, you know, how do you feel? Like, where do you feel with everything, with where we are and how this whole journey has gone and all the things. I'm hoping that wins. And I said, wow, it's interesting you said that, because I said, I've been feeling just emotionless lately. And it's a completely different experience of emotionless. You know, emotionless used to be completely shut down of emotions, because so you don't have to feel them. But this whole year of, oh, Pepe just showed up. He goes off and wanders on his own and does his own thing, and now he's jumping into the water. Wait, can you see him? I can't see. But over this past year, the purging has been so dramatic. As we all know, we've all been in this purging process. And even up until last night, we had the full moon and the lunar eclipse that happened last night. And I will tell you all, we came to this beach in the morning. I was fine, was feeling good, and got home, was super tired. So I took a nap and woke up with a just screaming headache. And that headache got so bad that I ended up in the bathroom purging. And I was like, man, I haven't been feeling densities at all, nothing. But what we have to understand is these things go so deep, these densities, that as the deeper we go into our own work, we think we're done, and we all know that we're not going to be done. However, the interesting thing was this wave that happened yesterday was so fast. It came in like a wrecking ball. It took me out, but then I was done, and I ended up having an okay evening with Bud. I was worn out and I was tired, but these waves are now passing, whether it's an emotional wave, whether it's a physical wave. What I'm understanding is it's going to be getting easier and easier and easier. There is no going back to where we came from. And that can be looked at in a lot of different ways. So for Bud and I, there's no going back to the U.S. for us. That was one of the parts that we were pretty sure of, pretty certain of, and yet also we have no idea. You know, if that's the way we're supposed to go, we'll follow that direction probably. But for now, there is a lot for us, calling for us to be and do and have here in this part of the world. I'll call it Europe, but in the world that I'm in, it is way too full of curiosity. I have questions. I want to know more. It's awakening a whole different level of me that wants to know more and experience more about life than I ever have before. And if I go back to the States, it's going to be all the same, you know, not all, but it'll be the same wherever we are. So I want to explore a completely different part of the world, and also build a part of the world that I'm not familiar with, because when we are unfamiliar and we start building and creating life, we create it in the unknown more than we would anywhere else that we are familiar with. So we're not going back physically, but we're also, as a collective, we aren't going back vibrationally or in frequency than we ever have before. Once we purge this stuff, we will not have to go back down into those deeper depths of living, of densities, because those densities will have been cleared, and we are already living in these higher frequencies that are just taking a little work to calibrate to. And as it grows, we also have to grow. So ultimately, we're not going back vibrationally. So if there is anything that is just you're procrastinating on, if there's anything that you're not willing to let go of, if there's something you're just not ready to to let go of, you want to hang on to it, it's only going to get harder. It's only going to get harder, because the higher these frequencies go, the more painful densities are going to be. So that it has to be faced. And on the other side of the biggest parts of what I know for me, I have experienced and faced, there is a peace over here that is beyond anything I could have expected. Not everything in my life is perfect, far from freaking perfect, and there are parts that I still have pain about. And at the same time, I also have this overwhelming joy and curiosity for life that I've never felt before. So there's a lot of new stuff that's happening over here. There's a lot of things that are left here to explore. Things like, what is life like without having to worry? What is life like, not having to sit in the, oh my God, what comes next? We are going into a time in history where we are going to eventually look back and say, oh my gosh, things just expanded so quickly I could barely keep up. And it's not barely keep up because it's busy, it's because you have to keep up with the receiving of it. That's where we are. That's where I feel like I am. And yet it is very emotionless, because we are at the 0 point moment. If every present moment is a 0 point moment, or an emotionless moment, it means that nothing is being triggered. Nothing is being triggered to make you angry, resentful, or frustrated. Nothing is being triggered to send you into overwhelming feelings of bliss and joy. They're there, but it's all at the same moment, and it becomes not emotionless in that you're not experiencing life. It becomes emotionless because you're experiencing it all at the same time. That's what this moment is. As I talked to Bud and as we discussed coming down, the message came so loud and clear. There is no going back, and this is a beautiful thing. And once we understand what that means, we can embrace it and really move forward into this place of the 0 point, emotionless, no energy going out, no energy going in, just being in this moment. That is the skill set we are to anchor in and hold, and that's all we need to live the most creatively expressed life that has been waiting for us to step into that timeline, into that frequency, match it in a 0 point place, which means that's your calibrated, grounded state of being, is at that level of the 0 point, that level of joy, and everything just becomes. That's my little piece of perspective for today. That's my little daily tune in. That's what I'm tuning into. So I offer you the invitation to tune in with me, and I look forward to hearing your responses. I look forward to hearing you all in the Ascension Bank on our calls on Wednesdays to really get down and deep into where everybody is, how this energy is affecting you this week, and most importantly, are you staying in that 0 point, in that emotionless state? Because we aren't going back, we are here to stay.